Well, that's a good start. So welcome back to this second video concerning the unboxing of my new Roundhouse Engineering Dylan. If you watched the first one, you know the unboxing video stopped rather abruptly because the engine was damaged in the rear here. After making the video, I contacted Roundhouse, told them the situation, and they were fantastic in helping me out to get some new parts across to me, obviously without cost and as quickly as possible. So I'm going to replace the damaged parts, and then I will continue with this video, taking a look at this Dylan from its unboxing, splinter new, as if nothing has happened. So let's crack on. So let's start with just removing that damaged roof section. We'll get rid of that. And what I'll do, I'll just show you on the video, it's just actually 2 screws. I'll just show you where they are. One of them you have to be a little bit careful. So let's take a quick look. This rear panel that's been given a bang is actually held in place by 2 screws there. This one's not a problem, and this one you just have to be a bit careful of the displacement lubricator there when removing it. So we'll crack on with that, remove the damaged parts and replace them with the new ones with the trusty screwdriver. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. All right, so here's the new panel piece. Take it out of the bag. It's already got the handrails on it and everything, and there's we got the vertical bits, and that now has to go back on here. So we'll crack on and put that on. So let's find its place, put it on the right place, get the screws on, and then we're done. All right, it was very difficult to film and fit the rear cab element at the same time, but I've just mounted the screws, and what I need to do now is just make sure that it's in the right position, not fitted skew with. So we'll line it up with the rear buffer beam and also at the side. Make sure that all is aligned properly, and then we'll screw down the mounting screws. The one by the displacement lubricator is obviously the more difficult of the two, but you know, it's not really that much. We'll say leave it that. We'll just have a quick check. Have a look. That looks this side. Oh, it needs to move that way a little, just a touch. So we'll just loosen it off a touch and do that. Just move it across a little bit. Yeah, that's better. So have another check. Yeah, that's fine. Good. That's the new bit finished. So I hope you can see there that the vertical elements here, the rear cab, they're nice and vertical. So we'll crack on now and fit the roof. So if you look at the top edge of the cab on the inside, you'll see this component here. This holds a magnet, and there's a similar magnet on the roof, and there's 2 slides here that mate up with these tabs, and together they hold the roof on the cab. So let's put that on now. And there we have it. The repair's done. We can now get back to reviewing and having a look at this completed new Roundhouse Engineering Dillon limited edition locomotive. So here we are back in the living room. Let's imagine the last 3 weeks haven't happened and then the locomotive has just been taken out of the box. Let's continue with looking at the Dillon, and let's first look at the external part of the locomotive. So as you see, the locomotive is in a colour that's a standard roundhouse colour called War Department Grey. Not standard on this locomotive are there's a number of features that I asked Roundhouse to add to the locomotive. The first one is the red connecting coupling rods and the eccentric rods, and the cranks, by the way. That's not standard. Normally they're just plain steel colour. And I asked them whether that was possible, and they said, yeah, that's no problem at all. So I said, how much? And they said, we do that for nothing. So I said, thank you very much. That's very kind of Roundhouse. I think it sets off against the grey and the black of the body very nicely indeed. The second thing that is not standard on the locomotive is the safety bonnet. Normally the locomotive comes as it is there, and this safety bonnet is from brass, and I could have had it as brass, but I thought it looks better in the body colour, so I asked them to do that, and indeed that was an additional cost. So if we move the locomotive round to the other side, an additional thing on this side is the gas regulator. Normally that's a round knurled knob, and I've got the accessory from Roundhouse, so it's in the form of a sort of brake handle, and I've got that on most of my locomotives. I find personally when the locomotive's actually running or is dark and you want to do some fine adjustments, I find using this particular gas regulator, I find that handier. Those that don't know the setup from Roundhouse for the controls and the things that you need to know, I'll just go through the cab very quickly for you. Okay, so let's remove the roof again. So let's start on the right hand side. This is the gas tank with the gas filler valve, and here is the gas regulator. Moving along, this is the steam regulator, and on my model this is radio controlled, and here's the mechanism for that. Actually down from that, in that position there, that's actually the burner, the gas burner. And moving across, here we have the pressure gauge, and right at the back in the corner there we have the lubricator, the displacement lubricator for the internal steam oil. So I think what we'll do now, we'll give it its very first steam run under my ownership. Okay, so the locomotive is prepared. I'm going to give an apology up front if there's any background noise because I've got the window open. Let's light the locomotive for the first time. Well, that's a good start. We'll leave the cab roof off for now. So what we'll do, we'll turn the radio control system on, and then switch on the locomotive. We'll just do some checks. Steam regulator forward reverse, and we'll give it some time to warm up. So there is some movement in the pressure gauge, so what I'll do is to reduce the condensation in the cylinders as much as possible. I'll be sort of trying to preheat the cylinders just by putting the locomotive in gear, in this case forward, and just opening the steam regulator a bit, and you see it wants to go already, and we're less than 20 psi. It's just to get some warmth into the cylinders, and then turn it back down so the steam regulator's at zero, so to speak, shut off, and we'll let it build up steam again. Okay, I've just moved the camera now a little bit so you can perhaps look at the steam pressure. We're now approaching 40. I'm going to let it go because I want to make sure, because it's the first time, I want to make sure the safety valve goes off, so I want to keep an eye on that. Should be around 40, perhaps a little over 40. The safety valve should start to blow off. Yep, there it goes. So we'll get it in gear and we'll see what we can get, relieve some of this pressure. Let's see if it goes. Getting to the condensation out of the motor, out of the cylinders, and away we go. The safety valve's continuing to blow off, and we're down at 20, so I'm not happy about that really. I'll just see if I can help it a bit. Okay, seems to be all right now. And we'll put the roof back on. Slow it down a bit. So we'll try reverse. Again, no problem. Safety valve is remaining shut at 25 psi, which is good. Turn down the gas a little bit. I think the gas is still quite high. We'll turn it down a bit more. Something like that for now. Back up to 40, so let's get the engine running. Change it back to forward gear. Now, slow run is not too bad, considering it's not really running yet. I think slowly but surely we're coming to the end of the gas, the end of the run. The pressure in the boiler is falling quite rapidly. Locomotive is coming to a halt. Open the steam regulator a bit more to get rid of all the pressure in the cylinder and in the boiler. Here we go. Open the gas regulator all the way. And I don't hear any gas hissing out, so that's the end of the run. Turn the RC off. So there we have it. My first run on the rolling road with my new Roundhouse Dillon. It's had 28 minutes. That's not bad at all. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you watched the first one, thanks for coming back firstly, and secondly, obviously you can understand what I'm saying, quite relieved. And this whole business of the damage, yes, it's a pain at the time, but I think I'm going to put it in perspective. These live steam locomotives, if you look after them, they will last a lifetime. I'm in my early 60s, so this locomotive, if it's looked after, it's going to outlive me easily. It's going to be part of my inheritance. In this case, this is going to my daughter. It's going to be named after my daughter shortly. They're certainly well worth the money, I think. So thank you for watching. Until the next time. Bye bye.